Oh, hi there. This morning, I would like to explain in layman's terms uh, what kind of the gist is in Asia as far as to current and historical events. China has been the big bully on the block for a very long time. Um, they've never been successful at a full-scale invasion of any sorts. Um, but there are many factors for that, mostly because they just didn't get their shit together. Um, but there's all kinds of reasons, internal corruption, um, and just whatever's. There's been all kinds of reasons, but all the neighboring countries that are around the South China Sea don't actually like the Chinese. They don't come out and say it too often on Westerners' media, but that is a fact because what leaders tell their people and what they really think can and usually are two different things. Um, there's no doubt about it that the Chinese, it is, you know, it is part of their game plan for world domination. It it has been for a long time. Whenever you use that word, a lot of people associate it with the United States, Nazi Germany, the Soviet Union, and all those sort of countries. Well, those were the countries that were more, we're doing this. We're a significant power in the world. We were the number one power in the world at one point. Because all those three countries were dominant powers at one point. They all felt they were. And things haven't changed that much in the mindset of political elite and military leaders. Um, we're fed a story, a narrative. I mean, I live in Canada. It's probably different for other people in other places, but the narrative is, vague notion of wars in the Middle East, American government bad, disliking the American government, good thing that makes you intelligent for some reason. And a lot of people they don't question things because their current surroundings are very comfortable. Um, it's even if you're at the bottom of the barrel, working minimum wage job here in Canada, it really isn't that bad. Um, I mean, obviously, if you're on the street or something like that, then I guess it is that bad. But most people aren't living on the street. Um, yeah. So anyway, most people live, a relatively comfortable life, and they can't see what happens beyond our borders. And any information that comes into our country has to go through a system that says, yes, this information is appropriate. We don't mind sharing this with the public, and it's got our spin on it. Because the thing is, one of China's more dangerous weapons is the propaganda war. Should they take control of our internet and bombard it with imagery and God knows what else, um, it could be, very dangerous. It can make people, lose their shit um, because of how simplified everything's been made on media. Like you hear discussions that old people have, and you go, well, they're old, they have worldly wisdom, they've seen things, they have the experience, they know. Well, no, that's not true because they've been fed a narrative their whole lives. And for example, a movie which very good movie, one of Bruce Willis's best movies in my opinion. Obviously, there were some things I didn't like about it, but good movie was Last Man Standing. Was an awesome movie. I mean, the part where he had too much ammunition. I mean, that's whatever. That's it did have a more of a video game kind of look to it in that sense, but it was a good movie. And the thing is, movies like that can be scripted so that everything has a more intense feel to it. That it feels like it's not tongue in cheek anymore. It's like this guy's saying something, and some people just they're not equipped to handle that form of thought. Make them, worry themselves into a corner if they just saw what are simple concepts about the world for the light that they are. Um, the Chinese government has to make a move eventually. I mean, the world is heating up and it's harder to grow food. You don't know that around here, though, man. There's food everywhere, but in other places there's not. And global warming is true. We really shouldn't be, when I say we, I mean the corporations shouldn't be doing things that produce, bad things for the earth, like plastic and all that. But unfortunately, it's a necessary evil for reasons that are beyond my comprehension. But the earth also goes through natural cycles. I mean, we had the ice age for, I mean, obviously none of us know too much about that, but there was the ice age, and the earth just goes through natural cycles. I don't think we have to worry about global warming as of yet. Yes, it's an issue that we got to tackle in the future, but we got down to earth problems to deal with here, people. And if you can't see the world for what it is, then that's good because you go do your job and you be happy in your life. You live in a Western country, no reason you shouldn't be, and everything will be fine. But us people who think outside our tiny little world, outside of the box, will solve the problems that you don't even know exist. And one of them is China. A lot of people go, "Oh, I know people who vacation to China, and it's lots of fun, booze and party and all this and that." Well, yeah, maybe, but you get directed to the tourist area, so that's fine. But 100 miles down the road, they might be a little bit different. You don't know that, and the Chinese government cannot be trusted at any regard. I don't think anybody with a reasonable opinion on life or in general on anything would actually think that they could be trusted. Um, I mean, the thing is, our own government shit on us quite a lot, and a lot of times when they don't have to as well. But, you know, it's an evil that's a little more tolerable. Um, it takes a great deal of understanding to see something and go, wow, this is shitty. Over there, it's a shittier thing, but what's happening over here is still shitty. It shouldn't happen, but you can't really do anything about it anyway. But we certainly don't want the shittier thing over there coming over here. You have no idea. Like these people, they know how to talk to us. They know that we've been born in a certain generation and we've seen certain things. They know what's possibly within our grasp of information. And hey, now that there's the internet, and you're Googling everything you normally Google, like let's say you're into hockey, you like conspiracy theories, um, whatever, um, that all goes down on file. So if they ever have to look at you, they can just dig up your internet history. And in fact, one of the bullshit things about it is they can actually lie about it. And because they're in a position of authority, they're going to believe, people are going to believe them over you. which is, like, how can you win against that? But anyway, getting back to the cyber hacking and the Chinese propaganda, and if they got control of the internet, that has not happened on a wide scale. Um, like, there'd be pandemonium, chaos, if Chinese propaganda were broadcasted on every internet server, every Facebook forum, everywhere. Um, and it would cause mass hysteria. Um, I mean, the higher ups in society do see more of what the world's about than we do, so they would be better equipped to handle it than your average everyday folk. Um, but um, there's certain ways of talking, and I am not personally too scared about certain things, even though, like I said, 100 miles down the road, things might be different, um, which isn't that far at all. All this covert, untrustworthy, cloak and dagger mentality of people of authority. Well, especially for how I've seen the world. Like, I could easily have been coaxed into a life of, just being talked to like an idiot every day, no meaningful conversation, and I'm not actually getting anywhere. And their hope was probably that I wouldn't see the things that are bullshit in my life and, not actually do anything about them. Because people have mechanisms that they use to silence conversation, um, silence anything, you know, moving forward. And it's almost like episodes on a TV show or something, in the sense that what happened on one show is almost like it doesn't even matter on the next one. It's forgotten about. And well, for me, like, especially with my YouTube channel, like, I remember most of what I said, and I could watch my videos again, and I would go, yeah, I said that. Maybe I could have worded it better, but I didn't. Um, yeah, um, yeah. I wish I could just concentrate certain ideas and stick to that on a topic, but to keep things fresh and original, you kind of have to talk about the wider subject. And it means getting into other subjects. I have explained that once or twice in other videos. I know I have. Like, so my main point I wanted to make in this video was that the propaganda machine is very real, and a lot of people, they're blissfully unaware that it even exists. They go, oh, propaganda, that's 1939 Germany, that's Mao Zedong, is China, that's propaganda. Sure, it was to them, but to me, it's just a load of crap. It doesn't persuade me to think whatever it is that those people at the time would have wanted me to think, which is what propaganda is. It's displaying media in a certain light to manipulate you into thinking what they want you to think and to behave the way they want you to think. Um, and you don't necessarily have to know that that's what they're doing uh, for it to be effective. In fact, it's more effective if you don't know. These are concepts, I can explain in layman's terms. I can make this point like very simply to people, and I can explain that, look, this person's gonna react this way. This person's gonna talk to you this way. And it's not gonna be to your benefit. It's gonna be, them treating you like you're an idiot so that basically they can push you around and you don't even know what's happening. Yeah, I just really would like it if more people, kind of had like a similar frame of mind and could understand things. Because the powers that be, they can't exactly be trusted. Um, for whatever reasons. Um, that's that's part of life. Um, we're gonna have to, you know, everyone's got to contribute and work together to solve problems. You can't go around treating people like mushrooms and feeding them shit and keeping it in the dark. Um, Obviously, it has to be a group effort of intellectuals making decisions on things, but I do question their judgment, and I don't I don't approve of some of the decisions that the higher ups have made for what it's worth. Just me saying, look, I don't agree with you. I think you could have done things better, and sometimes getting something wrong is unforgivable. And you know, um, allowing the Chinese any access to the internet um, is unacceptable. Um, it may be a combination of reasons, like it may be, the middlemen, which is the Asian countries that the United States deals with, who aren't really friends with China. They're more our allies, but they will do little prick things that piss us off, like not tell us when they've discovered new technology or things like that, particularly in regards to computers and the internet, which could really compromise our security. That is unacceptable on their part. I mean, I realize they're in a shitty situation because they're right next to the big giant, and we're kind of, we're a little bit farther away, so we got a little bit of breathing room, whereas they don't have so much. So I can understand their frustration, but the United States is the dominant superpower in the world and always will be, and we're not we're not cowing down to the Chinese. And what the propaganda machine in Western countries was doing was the dumbing down of America, and essentially putting our political beliefs into kind of a slumber-like state, so that we don't see things that have been going on, that we can't comprehend certain problems, and that bad things are happening, um, and we're just supposed to sit there and take it, not know about it, and um, you know, basically just get the raw end of the deal. And some of us can see that, and we don't want to get the deal that you know doesn't benefit us. I mean, you may go, oh, it's the white man blues, and you're being spoiled. Like it's so much worse for other people in other parts of the world. Well, things being worse for other people in other parts of the world is no reason for making lives worse for people over here. Um, and it's no reason for going, well, we don't care because it's worse over there. Um, there's always got to be a winner and a loser in certain situations, and unfortunately, China is going to be the loser. They played their cards wrong over the history, and things could have been different. By chance, Europeans were able to colonize North America and Australia and South Africa. We got the Russians somewhat on board, and we saved the world, people. Uh, I know a lot of people don't want to accept that. They don't like the idea of the white man saving the world, but that is what happened. Um, but we do have a couple vulnerabilities and a few issues that have to be addressed, and making sure that Asian influence stays out of Western media is one of the top priorities. Because it's not that they're smart; it's because they prey upon the weak. And what more can I add to that? Like, you people must see that. You must understand that. That if you're dormant to the ideas of what exactly is causing you problems in life, then it enables uh, outside influences to work around you and cause you undue stress and other unfortunate things. Um, well, yeah, that's the main thing. I want to warn people about the Chinese propaganda machine because it's a big, stupid, ugly thing that wants to take over, and I guarantee it does, no matter what anybody says. And it's not just that fat pig Jason Unruh. Although I don't like him for what he's said over the years, I don't care if he's you know, saying it for certain reasons because he's accommodating certain people's. Um, when he pulls out the White Man Blues world's tiniest violin, in particular regards to me, uh, excuse me, but screw you. Um, yeah, I look forward to having debates of any nature uh, with whomever is willing to have an audience with me. Anyway, talk to you guys there. Have a good one.